Hello, kind people. This is Dmitry, and this is my weekly listener recap. This is my second attempt at recording this video. In the first attempt, I managed to put my address and telephone number on screen. And although I'm sure that all of the viewers of this are, they're to be trusted, and that only might result in me receiving a postcard, maybe. But still, this is not something I'm comfortable putting on YouTube, so hence the second try. So I'm still caching with my backlog, and so this is recorded several days after I solved the puzzle, and but still it is reasonably fresh in my memory, much fresher than the previous one, which I recorded the recap for yesterday. This is called Adventures in Outer Space. It's by Hidewell. Hidewell is one of those setters that if you go to the listener website and try to find the real name for Hidewell, you would not be successful. So they prefer to remain anonymous, which is absolutely fine. Setters sometimes do that. And there was one previous puzzle by Hidewell. I remember it reasonably well. I think it was very easy, but also resulted in a lot of wrong submissions because there was some people put the wrong word in the last row or something like that. So this one seems to be much more involved. So let's read the preamble. It's reasonably short. All by 6 clues need a word removed to enable solving. The word's first and third letters spell instructions, including 3 abbreviations, involving 6 new squares and 6 arcs. One of the normal clue answers relates to the square sizes. The other 5, in some order, give a clue with these enumerations for an across answer that must be entered after following the instructions as 4 letters, 2 of which are already present and omitted by the extra clues wordplay. So what this means is that eventually we're going to get the new cryptic clue, which is not present in the puzzle at the moment, and that clue will clue something that we will need to enter in the grid, and 2 of the letters for this word are already going to be in the grid, and so the wordplay, so in that clue there will be a definition and there will be wordplay, and the wordplay is going to omit those letters already in the grid. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to show basically some of the clues that I solved first, and then I'll show you the message and the end game. So I think one of the very first clues I solved was actually this very last one, 35 down, a reduction of long period, with the answer being year, which is yearn without the last letter. So this is the normal clue. And so what this means is that its answer is either somehow relating to the sizes of the squares, which is unlikely for the word year, or it is part of that clue. Then I think this 34 down was maybe even the second one. Ego after else maybe drops 1 Lulu. So Lulu here is an extra word, and so from it we need letters L and L because they're first and third. And even though I live in Sandwich, I know virtually nothing about golf. And so Ernie else is a golfer, but I only know it from crosswords. And so else maybe is Ernie, and when Ernie drops 1 or I, you get Erne, and Erne is a type of ego. And so I got that one. And so it was not a very difficult grid fill. Although some of the clues are tricky, and I don't think I even parsed all of them. I think the one for 100, I think, I didn't quite get. I know that it is a division of some counties, I think, but I don't really understand how we get there. So from these extra words, you eventually get a message. And when I was solving, I was fairly late in reading this correctly, although it's the easier way of reading this, because I think not too long ago I solved a puzzle where there were also pairs of letters extracted from each clue, and they also coded 2 instructions, but you have to read them in parallel. So say the first letters kind of gave you 1 instruction, and the third letters would give you the other instruction. Not so here, where you just have to read them in order, which I think is easier because you could more readily fill missing bits and thus know which words are extra for the clues that you haven't solved yet. And what you get out of this is 8 calls, and we notice that the instructions will include 3 abbreviations. So calls for columns is one of them. Draw an app approximate golden spiral, origin SW, southwest corner, add a Greek letter to the final cell. So these are our instructions, and then you have some words that correspond to these extra clues. So we get 100, we get cups, we get Fibonacci, we have, this is 1, which is, the definition is the same, and it is Eno reversed. And we get this, which is old, although I'm not sure, again, how to parse this. This is one of those rare clues that I haven't properly parsed yet. So one of them relates to the sizes of the squares, and you probably have guessed that this is the Fibonacci one, because Fibonacci and golden sequence and golden ratio have close connections. And so what we need to do is to draw a golden spiral, or rather the approximation to it, and the approximation is something called Fibonacci spiral, which you get by doing more or less what is said there. So you add, and here is the end game. So you add 8 extra columns, and I had to do it on a separate page because there isn't enough space to add 8 extra columns in the original listener page. And I do pity those who solve it actually involving cuttings from the newspaper, because that would include some gluing and some, yeah, anyway. So these are these eight extra columns, and so these are the extra squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the new ones, and as you can see, this is of size 1, or rather with a side of length 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and this is 13, which are parts of the Fibonacci sequence. So we are asked to draw 6 arcs, and they have to start at southwest corner. So this is what I have done, although I'm not sure that origin is the right word for, the spiral, because obviously probably like the origin of the spiral is actually, it's focused. I'm not 100% sure, but I think clearly here it is where we have to start drawing. This is the meaning of the word origin here. And so we need to have 6 arcs. So that's, this one is the first, this one is the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And so we draw nothing in the final cell, but instead we put a Greek letter there. And because phi is typically the Greek letter that denotes the golden ratio, so this is the one which we put there. And then, so this is one letter which is already in the grid. This is another one which is already in the grid. And so now we need to get that clue. And so the clue is, so what are the words that we have? We have 1, we have old, we have 100, we have cups, and we have year. So, and so from this you could get something like 100-year-old cups. And so 100 is C, year is Y, and this is the wordplay bit of it. And old cups are sci-fi. So, and phi we already have written in the grid as phi, and so S we already have written in the grid here, and so we need to just fill these 2 cells, and this is what I have done. And the whole puzzle is called Adventures in Outer Space, so which I guess corresponds to like this whole thing being outer to the grid, but also corresponds to, obviously, sci-fi being a genre which talks about adventures in outer space a lot. I quite enjoyed it, although I think like this whole sci-fi endgame bit was rather kind of orthogonal to like this whole golden spiral thing, and maybe is kind of trying to stretch things a little bit. So it's, yeah, I'm not sure I'm convinced by why we exactly needed this sci-fi. But I think it's still reasonably neat, and for those who have not seen Golden Spiral approximation like this, yeah, I hope that they enjoyed it. I know there are people out there who absolutely hate anything, kind of any math-related themes, but I'm not one of them. It's the numericals I don't like. Math-related themes are okay. So yeah, really enjoyed it. I think yet another strong listener in a stellar listener year. Probably, not in the top 5 of the year. So I would be surprised if this, gets to the top 3, say, of the Ascot Gold Cup vote. But, who knows? Still a very good one. And I definitely enjoyed it more than the previous Hidewell offering. So yeah, thank you for watching, and let's see what the next week is going to bring. Thank you.